guys, welcome back to my channel. We all know that the Sephora VIB sale is just on the horizon. So today's video is going to be all about how to survive the Sephora VIB sale while on a low buy. I myself am currently on a year-long no buy for the entire year of 2019, and I knew when I started this low buy that the Sephora VIB sale in particular was going to be very, very hard for me while on a low buy, because in the past I have like loaded up my cart and just like gone savage. So today I'm going to be giving you some tips. I'm not quite sure how many. I probably should have counted that before we started. But today I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks as to how to survive the Sephora VIB sale while holding true to your low buy. So if you are interested, then stay tuned. But first, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you consider doing so before you go. I post videos every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys, so my first and most important tip is to go into the sale having a set budget for yourself and one that you're unwilling to be very flexible with. So you need to figure out what you're comfortable spending during the sale, and then you need to stick true to that. So for me, I know I said for my low buy, and this may not sound like a low buy to some, but my monthly budget for myself was $150. Now I am going to allow myself $200 for the Sephora VIB sale because it is my birthday month in May, so I'm going to be picking up myself some gifts that for my husband to give me. So it's not even like I'm spending the money. So first and foremost, you just need to choose a budget that you're comfortable with, because if you don't go into it with a budget, then how do you even know, like, you know, what you want to get your cart total down to and things like that. So number one is to pick a budget. Number two is to assess your current collection and make a list of things that you actually need. These could be things like you're almost out of your cleanser, your serum, whatever it may be, your favorite foundation, and they're things that you need. I know nothing really in makeup is necessarily a need, but things that you actually like are running out of, running low on, and you're going to need. And these are going to be the items that you're going to, or that are likely going to stay in your cart as you're trying to whittle down your cart to remain in your budget. Okay, my third tip might seem weird to some, but this is how I personally shop when I'm trying to like stay in my budget, but like it's a weird tip. But my third tip is to go through the Sephora site and add every single item to your cart that you're considering purchasing, that you want to buy, that you're interested in, etc. Don't pay any sort of mind to like your budget, nothing. Okay, so I'm currently going through my process of tips myself, and so I have gone in and added every single thing to my cart that like I'm interested in, and my cart total right now, I don't know if you'll be able to see, is $1,500, almost 16. So that's my third tip, to go and add every single item to your cart, and then from there you can start to take things off that you don't want, that you don't need, that you're not interested in, and you can kind of start to whittle down your cart, start to kind of get an idea for like the tougher the decisions that you're gonna have to make. But then you can look kind of at your cart total as you go, so it gives you a better idea of how close you are to your budget. I don't know if we're on tip, I think we're on tip 4. My fourth tip is to not buy backups. I know this is something that I used to do quite a bit. I'd be halfway through a foundation when the sale came up, and I would buy myself a backup foundation, even though I have so many foundations in my collection and I knew it was going to take me quite some time to get through the foundation that I was buying a backup for. In my opinion, at least, it's, unless you're really close to being out of that foundation, it's just not that big of a deal to go out and purchase the foundation at full price when you finish it a couple months later. And you know what, you may not even finish that foundation until the next sale comes around. So for me, it's made a big difference in also feeling less overwhelmed by my makeup collection by buying less backups, or buying basically no backups at all. The only thing that I may buy backups of if I'm like halfway through my pack is my Shiseido facial cottons, but those are another thing that are like, I think they've raised their price to $12, so you're really not even saving that much during the sale. But for me, backups are a no-no. My fifth tip, kind of going along with like the backups type of idea, is to not buy things just because there's a sale. I know in the past this is something that I've been super guilty of myself, is just basically wanting everything because I'm getting it at a discount, and that's not a reason to buy makeup. You should only bring items into your collection that you think you're gonna love, that you want to test, etc. And you shouldn't just be buying things because you can get them at a discount and you don't like super love them, but you're getting a percentage off, so you feel like you need them. This is a really, really bad mindset to be in. And like I said, I used to be super, super guilty of this myself. Being on a low buy has definitely made me conscious of like the thoughts that'll go through my head before I make a purchase decision. And this is something that has been a struggle for me, but definitely do not use the sale as an excuse to buy things, just to buy them. Okay, so next you're going to start going through your cart and you're going to start narrowing down the items that are wants versus what you're actually going to be buying. Basically, you're just going to start to remove items that you don't necessarily, that are like lower on your list of wants. So for me, like I'll scroll through some of these things, and I know I tossed a bunch of different makeup sets in here because I do want to do some makeup set reviews on my channel, but I definitely don't need all the makeup sets that I included in here. So I'm going to start to remove ones that I know are like lower on my list of things that I want. So you'll start to do that, start to remove things out of your cart that just really aren't that high on your priority list until you start to get down to the more difficult decisions. And when you get down to the products that you really are having a tough time trying to decide whether or not you want them, my 7th and final tip is to ask yourself a few questions. And the first is not even really a question, but it's really to visualize yourself using the product and the areas in which it fits into your life. So for example, if I wanted the Marc Jacobs like blue eyeshadow palette, which I do own, and I was trying to decide whether or not to purchase this, I would think to myself, okay, when are the times that I'm actually going to use this eyeshadow palette? For me, I work 5 days a week. It's not an eyeshadow palette that I would wear to work, so that cuts out 5 days of the week already that I wouldn't be wearing this palette, leaving only 2 days of the week. And within my huge eyeshadow collection, that really limits the amount of time that I'm going to get to spend with this eyeshadow palette. So is it really something that is going to fit into my collection or that I immediately need? Probably not. So then I'll go ahead and delete that item. Another question you want to ask yourself is, does it fit into your makeup vibes or your makeup style? Or is it another situation where you're buying into the hype of something maybe, or just purchasing it because you hear so many people raving about it, but it's not even something that really fits into your makeup needs? For example, I know a lot of people really like the Fenty foundation, and I love tons of Fenty products, but that foundation is geared more towards combo / oily skin, and for me, I have more normal to dry skin. So even though I like the brand, I love purchasing from the Fenty Beauty line, that doesn't necessarily fit into my makeup needs or my preferences, so that's an item that I'll then go ahead and remove from my cart if it was in my cart. And then finally, if you're still trying to narrow your cart down to get it within your budget, just go ahead and ask yourself, is it truly a need? Do I have other things that I need more? Why do I really want this? And just make sure you're asking yourself the right questions. Maybe it's been on your loves list for a really long time, and in that situation, then yes, maybe it's something that you should go ahead and buy because it's been something that's been on your mind for a long time. But if it's something newer to your loves list, really take the time to consider whether or not it's something that you really want, or it's just, you know, an in the moment sort of thing, and make your decisions based on that. And then finally, at the end of the day, as long as you are comfortable with the total when you hit submit for your order, that is truly all that matters. If you guys have any other tips and tricks for surviving a low buy or a no buy or anything like that, definitely leave me a comment and let me know some of the things that you like to do to stick to your no buy. I would definitely love to hear from you guys. Other than that, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you'll consider doing so before you go, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.